Hey there. Welcome to my study. It's a room, it's the guest room in my home, and it's very clean. I like it. I like it in here. It's quiet and clean. All my shoes lined up. No, you don't get to see it, except this part. And I vacuum the floor. I make sure that everything is tidy. Little corner of peace. So anyway, welcome to the Gately Musings channel. This is, I really haven't put up as much as I had hoped. I think about it almost every day, like, oh, I want to make commentary on stuff. And business. People miss Gatelynomics, and I do have some really good stuff forthcoming. Noticed I had a lot of new subscribers, so welcome. I just want to make my a disclaimer that a lot of the things, it's musings, it's things I'm thinking of, but you know, they're just thoughts. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their life. So anyway, first off, I've been watching Stargate Atlantis, and that show makes me happy. Makes me happen. I really loved Stargate SG-1. I watched those about twice, all the way through. Painting mostly. So anyway, I keep seeing news stories, and here's one. U.S. files charges against American who alleged torture. So I'm like, well, doesn't he have his freedom of speech? You know, what are they charging him with? And you know, it just, anyway. But let's continue. So I read it. So they issued an arrest warrant for this guy seeking asylum in Sweden. And so he's 33 years old. He's accused of conspiring to hide money transfers from the U.S. government. Meaning, so it's his money. He hasn't stolen it or anything. It's that banks are required to violate the privacy of the people that bank there by reporting transactions of more than $10,000. And so, first off, you know what? All this comes down to the Bill of Rights. So, well, where's your right to privacy? Because you hear that, right to privacy. And for the longest time, I didn't know what that was. And by the way, I need to become much better studied in this. So I keep in my wallet a copy of the Bill of Rights because I love it so much. And the Fourth Amendment, it says quite simply, the right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. So why is it illegal to put security cameras in somebody else's house? Why is it illegal to look in someone's window? Why is it illegal to tap someone's phone lines? Oh, the government sure doesn't like it when you do that to them. That's a felony. But when they do it to you, it should be a felony, but it's not. So anyway, so this guy, first off, his bank was required by law to violate his privacy by making him insecure in his persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. So basically, yeah, they're nailing him on the tax thing. That basically, not. But what also interests me is Fikra's brother, a taxi driver, is charged with failing to file taxes for 2 years. He made $26,000 in 2009 and $29,000 in 2010. Oh my gosh! So they're trying to nail this poor little taxi driver to the wall. Aren't you a little embarrassed to do that? You know, that these are the small fries you're trying to fry up. Here it is. Fikra said that when he was detained in the United Arab Emirates, he was not accused of a crime. Tortured the hell out of him, unless he's lying, of course. Tortured the hell out of him, but he wasn't accused of a crime. He was released without charge. Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you for releasing me without charge. So let's read the next one. This is Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, etc., etc., to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Oh my gosh. The United States federal government, in the form of the FBI, this is the allegation, this is what he's saying they did, an American citizen, they violated this. They violated they blackened out every single word with black ink. People that take an oath in the FBI, they take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. A sacred oath. So when you take an American citizen and you turn him over to torture the hell out of him, that's about as black as the wrong gets, folks. It's about as black as it gets. Here's another one. Because I view everything in terms of the Bill of Rights now. By the way, went to go see the Avengers. Here's the villain in the Avengers. It's Agent Coulson. It's S.H.I.E.L.D. If you look through the movies, just go back and watch the movies again, and watch how many times S.H.I.E.L.D. violates the rights of citizens. It's Thor's girlfriend, love interest in the first one. They go onto her property, no warrant. They just take her stuff. They just say, well, we're just taking your stuff. In the Avengers movie, well, I won't spoil it for you, but go back and watch the movies and see how often Agent Coulson, in Iron Man, he confines Iron Man to his house. No trial, just imprisoning him. That's called kidnapping. That's a felony. That's what he's doing. So it's a sad, sorry state of affairs. Let's talk more about the Bill of Rights. I got this book by Utah Senator Orrin Hatch called Courage. Look at this. It cracks me up. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Orrin Hatch, leading the fight for constitutional rights. Oh my gosh. This guy regularly supports legislation that goes against the Constitution. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. So anyway, here's one. Let's just see if I can find my fave in here. Hold on, I have it. I have the important part. Okay, this talks about the Patriot Act. So he has been a leading figure. This is a biography. It's not an autobiography. And by the way, this whole book is so pompous. Accordingly, he's been a leading figure. That's Senator Hatch from Utah. A leading figure pressing for strong support of the U.S. military there, and I guess overseas, and more effective intelligence gathering. What does that mean? That means warrantless wiretapping, folks. Okay, hold on. I saved this email. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I'm getting off track here. So here's Senator Hatch on a local, I think it is a radio station or an online newspaper that's interviewing. It's KSL.com. It says, question, why did you vote to raise the debt ceiling? Okay, now just listen to how nonsensical this answer is. Tell me if you can see where the problem with this answer is. It's a matter of not letting the government go down the drain. If we didn't raise the debt ceiling, our soldiers and sailors and Marines and others overseas would not have the monies and support and weapon and materials they needed to, okay, now fill in the blank. They would not have the monies and support and weapons and materials that they needed to run the country. I'm sorry, the military... Which country is the military running again? I hope they're not running this country. So anyway, here it is. Observe. By the way, there's a giant, Mordor-like complex for spying on the American people being built out in the Utah desert here. Okay, it says, so he's talking about the Patriot Act. While including provisions to protect the constitutional rights of citizens with nothing to hide. So let me get this straight. Citizens with nothing to hide have constitutional rights, i.e. to their privacy. Do you see the breakdown in logic there? The Patriot Act lessened restrictions on law enforcement agencies to search telephone, email communications, medical, financial, and other records within the United States, and made it easier to regulate financial transactions, especially those involving foreign individuals and groups. It broadened the ability to detain and deport immigrants suspected, not convicted, not verified that some crime was committed, only suspected of terrorism-related acts. Finally, the law expanded the definition of terrorism to include domestic terrorism. Oh, doesn't that send a chill down your spine? Oh my gosh. This, opposite of this. It doesn't matter. If you're accused of something, bring the public accusation, the speedy trial, speedy and public trial. Bring your witnesses. Tell the person what they are accused of before you start doing stuff to them. So I hope I did at Adepticon encounter a soldier that was not in active military duty for quite some time actually, and what she told me is she didn't mind the searches in the airports because at least they were keeping us safe. And it made me think, this is a question, it's a sincere question. How many soldiers really understand this, really have it in their hearts? And I don't know. For all I know, it's all of them. And but this one didn't seem to really care that much about her Fourth Amendment rights. She seemed to care about safety. And, you know, I guess there's that. So anyway, so let's move on. So here's a beauty. 92-year-old woman who sold suicide kits gets probation for tax offense. Now, so hold on. So prosecutors say that as part of her plea deal to drop the charges, we're supposed to stop making or selling the kits. She was prosecuted under U.S. tax code because, quote, the sale of suicide kits is not a violation of federal law, unquote. So, okay, let's forget, you know, the moral implications and arguments about the suicide kits. Let's say it was anything. Let's say it was raw milk. So let's say it wasn't illegal to do that, but all of a sudden, government no likey you doing that. So they come after you not for what you're doing, but they find some way to get you on the tax code. Isn't that interesting? That so there's a sense of lawlessness. We can't get a law passed because we don't like this one thing. So instead, we're going to sidestep this whole due process inconvenience, right? They're going to sidestep that by using the tax code. And my issue with the tax code is it presupposes that another man owns you. That your life can be disposed of at the whim of somebody else, some legislator, some lobbyist who gets some law signed off by a certain number of senators. I don't like people telling me how to run my life. Tell me what to do, where to go, how to spend my time, what to eat. And you might think, oh, Sean, the government's not doing that to you. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. I must spend my time filling out forms. That's how I must spend my time, without compensation, by the way, for my time. And I must eat corn. I must eat and drink corn-related products. And that's because corn is subsidized. Corn gets subsidies from the U.S. government. My money's taken from me by force. Then the money, through no will of my own, maybe I hate corn. Maybe I don't like corn. Maybe I love corn. Doesn't matter. No will of my own. Corn goes to the corn farmer. Corn goes to the corn farmers. The money, the subsidies, goes to the corn farmers. Therefore, corn is cheaper. Corn syrup in everything. Corn, corn. Just go down the aisle of the grocery store. There's corn in everything. And I'm thinking, well, if we were left to our if we were truly free men, what would we be eating? What would we choose? What would we truly choose? And you might think, oh, well, it's just a certain percentage of your life. Well, how much would it need to be for you to be upset about it? For you to say, yeah, this isn't okay with me? What percent would it need to be? Right now, I think other people are controlling at least 20% of your life. They're making decisions for you that weren't your decisions. That if you could only see that they were making bullets, and that a certain percentage of those bullets ended up inside civilians' bodies. And maybe you don't want that. And I think we should all really think it through and be responsible. And so, you know, I admit that I'm back to Senator Hatch. Oh, and by the way, Senator Hatch enjoys a notable approval in Utah. And I'm a little surprised at that, because I think people get in sort of a wavelength where they're just ready to kind of cheer on whatever's happening, to intellectually take the easy way out, and so it is hard to not, you know, stand up when everyone's giving a standing ovation. And it's hard to, you know, stand up and say something out loud when everyone else is sitting down and shushing you. So there you go. And I'd encourage all of you to exercise your freedom of speech while you still have it, because that is a freedom that is to a great extent sacrosanct still. And I think that's really great. Well, anyway, just a couple of news stories. I'm always reading the news. I go to lots of different sites. By the way, these were both from MSNBC. So I think I'm going to do more of that. Thanks for tuning in.